Good morning, Professor.
Good morning.
I'm very happy to see you, even from Istanbul. First of all, I would like to thank you for your lecture, Data Collection Technologies and Logistics, which will be shortly delivered in Poznań University of Economics and Business. And as a visiting professor, you will simply help us to understand this crucial part of the digital supply chain, especially right now in the worldwide pandemic.
Yeah.
So that's why I have a few questions concerning digitalization of the supply chain. And first of all, what are the effects of digitalization of the supply chain? What do you think about the positive and negative outcomes of this process?
Dobry chain, Doctor. First of all, thank you very much, Dr. Bentyn, to invite me for this conversation and organizing this precious collaboration between two universities. And it's a pleasure for me to be a part of this project. And pozdrawiam serdecznie do Poznania and our watchers, of course. Let me come to your question, Doctor. As you know, digitalization affects all business companies and their supply chains. We can see the different effects on the way of business doing first, and culture and other issues in organizations. And we can split the effects into two. Let me start with the negative effects first. First of all, even it's very attractive, the digitalization really requires continuous investment, I mean money. Even some companies haven't planned to make an investment to survive, to be alive. They are forced by their suppliers for transformation in a very limited time. And if you are working with a great company, large company, you have to make that investment. And companies should spend a large amount of money to get digitalized. The reason is, you have to buy software, you should get training, you should get consulting and purchase electronic equipment for the digital infrastructure. In addition to this, just consider when you transfer your all systems to a digital platform, the systems will be more vulnerable to cyber attacks. So cyber security issues increasing in the wind of digitalization, of course. Let's return to logistics, actually supply chain design. I think 3D printers are very crucial here in this area. Also, it's a basic component of I4, Industry 4, and they will change the rule of business on the design of supply chain. Even today, most of the companies are manufacturing their prototypes using 3D printers. Additionally, the other companies now searching ways to produce their spare parts using 3D printers. And this trend will affect the whole supply chain configuration. For example, consider the aircraft industry. Boeing's more than 20,000 parts have already been produced by 3D printers. So, for example, when selecting a new warehouse location, rather than being close to a supplier, being close to a 3D printing center may be more important. We should consider all of the factors, and it will change the configuration. Another dimension is robotization. I mean, using physical or software robots, because robotizing all the white-collar processes and blue-collar operations will require massive training, and a very careful training strategy should be developed. On the other hand, digitalization requires continuous transformation, budgets and efforts, and companies cannot stay still. And when we look at companies, some managers think that the continuing transformation activity may be exhausting in addition to budgets. In some references, researchers claim that digitalization will increase the digital divide more sharply. I mean, the gap between more developed countries and the less ones will increase. So actions need to be taken to reach the IT systems and the internet connection. And we shouldn't forget that you cannot get the whole benefit of technology if your supplier chain partner or customer's customer is not digital enough for you. So for supply chain investments, companies should consider the big picture, I think. And after discussing the drawbacks and the black side of the digitalization, now let's discuss the positive ways, of course. They are more enjoyable. First of all, by using technology and digitalization, there will be a decrease in the cost of operations, so the way of competition will change. By using robotic technology and AI, artificial intelligence, customer-specific service and customized products will be available. And in the window of digitalization, rather than making risky investments alone, being a platform provider or member of a platform will be more preferable for companies. Again, on the business model side, on-demand services will increase with the help of digitalization. And I think it will open new opportunities for supply chains. Customers will no need to pay huge amount of money for the ownership of the items. Just use and drop models, will be offered when delivering services, even the physical products. Of course, this collaboration technology behind and special apps are required for the management of these operations like Uber's operations. Additionally, with the help of the technologies and the big data analytics, creating dynamic pricing related to customer behavior will open new opportunities, and customers will be able to get customized prices, and I think this may lead to new sales potentials. And these are the things that come to my mind for now. Doctor?
All right. Thank you. Very impressive. I think it looks like the digital supply chain really opens a new perspective on the existing supply chain structures. But going back to our nowadays situation, we have COVID-19 pandemic, and all eyes are turned on the resilience of the supply chain. Can you address how they should adapt to avoid disruptions like that in the future?
Yeah, it's a very important topic and cool question because, as we all know, COVID-19 hit the companies really hard. And I think this situation showed the companies that they should be ready for further different crises also. And they should learn to work location-free. I think this is one of the main outputs of this crisis. And because, the need of leaving some physical distances between workers limits the work area. And I see companies start to close some offices and started to move smaller spaces. And in a recent study conducted in the United States, 75% of the respondents said that they want to continue working from home in the post-pandemic period, maybe for a certain period of week. And again, for the employee side, it will be a serious opportunity to choose a company that offers remote working option. And I think it's worth to consider. And if you want to work remote, we should work on the cloud. And as an extension of remote working, we should consider cloud technology again. And I expect a great increase in speed in the transition of on-premise corporate software like ERP, warehouse management systems to cloud platforms in the coming period. And job descriptions such as cloud services specialists will also grow in popularity. And as we all experience, we started to shop online more often than ever before. Even the pandemic ends, most of the habits will remain. Even my dad, 80 years old, started to shop online. So companies should enrich their services and make their products reachable by online services. This market will also trigger the courier and distribution sector. As I witnessed in Istanbul, one of the most crowded cities in the world, I can count 3 new cargo companies showed up in the market in the meantime. When we turn to staff side, digital skills will be more than ever, will be important more than ever before because of eliminating the mid-levels, the automation will run some procedures. So more qualified people will be preferred. Robots will do the routine. Skilled people will generate new ideas, solve problems, analyze data, and discover new knowledge. And basic programming and data analytics skills will be the most sought after features, I think. And I think these are the issues that will really benefit companies. Word is yours, Doctor.
All right, very impressive evolution. I think that digital supply chain is simply a very exciting direction for existing supply chain structures, and therefore there is a question: which main trends in technological developments may soon influence the global supply chains?
Yeah, technology is an interesting topic. It makes us excited. We all see the robots in the videos. We see the different solutions in the market. And the development and the solutions offered is tempting all of us. For example, when we examine the future trends, developing and deploying games, apps, in the market is advised for the whole companies. It can serve as a different tool for customer interaction and loyalty because we all carry the handheld devices. So you may not just to be a gaming company. All companies can create games or similar apps to keep their customers online. And by the recent developments in artificial intelligence, implementing machine learning algorithms, embedding in enterprise software like warehouse management, transport management systems, and ERP systems will add a great value, especially for example, determining the data errors and detect the anomalies in the records will increase the efficiency of the use of the software. And I think RPA solutions, robotic process automation solutions, will make greater impact than physical robots. This will lead to companies a really big transformation. And if the educated people is not qualified to take a place in the transformation, they may have concerns about their career and future. And this is a message for our students also. And let's return to business and users. In the companies, business users no longer want to wait for the support of IT units because IT units are always busy to fulfill the request. So to adapt their innovative ideas and their ideas to the system, no-coding application development platforms, I mean without writing code, will be more popular. So the concept of citizen developer has also started to be discussed. And according to a Gartner's forecast, in the next 2 years, the number of soft developers, I mean using non-code platforms, the soft developers in large companies will be 4 times the number of professional developers. And I expect the BPM software to be used more efficiently, business process management software, to be used more efficiently in interactive process and form, screen design, etc. And in the supply chain, the time and the real-time data analytics is very important. And if it will affect the way of business in some area, for example, driver of a commercial vehicle, for example, will be monitored with a camera, and situations such as sudden or aggressive behavior or sudden steering or braking behaviors will be evaluated as critical warnings, and this data will be processed and trigger some actions to make the journey safer. But of course, the data collected from, in addition to this data collected from cameras and wearable devices, someday may affect health insurance coverage, maybe. And of course, this will be a further problem and debated. Both the security of personal data and ethical issues will be a headache in the following time, I think. I think that's all for the question now. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you for your answer, Professor. I think this is a very broad perspective, and I hope our students may realize how important the change is and how it's important to study, to learn digitalization in the supply chain in many different forms. So I think right now, this functioning global supply chains and during a very harsh conditions used by COVID-19, we have to propose new solutions, research, and develop potentials for the future of the supply chain, for the modernization. And that's why these kind of initiatives are very important. So I hope we will meet soon in Poznań or in Istanbul, Professor.
Yeah.
Thank you again. Thank you again, and I hope we stay healthy.
And you're welcome, and it will be a pleasure for me to perform these conversations and lectures again in Poznań without physical restrictions. And do widzenia.
Do widzenia. Dziękuję.